Ken Ofori Atta, has he committed any crime in this country?
This Minister of Finance was doing something that I would say is criminal.
It's not that you shouldn't borrow. We have to borrow.
Ken Ofori Atta, or you're from four, see you didn't do prison.
Show me the law that says that when you serve in public office, when you finish, you have to account.
The lawyers in America have filed the process in court to challenge what I have done.
Yes, my phone, you know, Kwaba, Ebium, Emma, Jumadi, so sounds so fancy. And some are a coso, or my Ganamu. Yadinina, a bread I have for any what you know. Ya beam, ya doon, commander. Infobia watcher babiano, or dinina guho, at the ama I have forces, Samino Cassay. Ken Ofori Atta, the situation at the say, and yen a coso, or Bobby PM, or my Ganamu. And I say, Enema Echo and the lawyers, Eddie Samno Echo Court, one would take legal action. And Senator Tobiano, Attorney General, so for plan for fra, Ken Ofori Atta Babe PM, or my Ganamu, and what His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, Eddie Sebu Tuga, and maybe a chum, Efa Ken Ofori Atta, Baran, or my Nina, me and young Cosso, na and a Nina Abamu, quick one. Eriyan komana mampani kodi ya sisi ameno kasei eri sembebre aba quick one ebero ho NPP amayoko no so wo se ai dia yede ye Ken Ofori Atta no eye unfair enye fair ba quick one yebero so na afeni akotie samu a atodwa baransa na commander yebero ansem nim na yedimu nkomo no emre bi atwam Ken Ofori Atta ebe kansem bi eno wachi eno His Excellency John Dramani Mahama ebe expose Ken Ofori Atta but na kamia kwese na John Dramani Mahama ewo opposition ti omani nyina ni amaso enti yene kan ko tie Ken Ofori Atta de ne mra ye koba ye be ko tie sama His Excellency John Dramani Mahama edi tuda omani no ami ani amaso a enne alande ye into trouble quick one uri enti mra.
So the question that's actually asked, and I'm trying to also appreciate it, that we are borrowing and we are accumulating our debt, and we're excited about that. How do you explain that?
We are borrowing. Well, first of all, we have to borrow because our domestic revenues do not match that. And then borrowing on a sovereign basis is really global.
Okay.
So the question is responsible borrowing is what we need to affirm.
Okay.
And I think we are doing that. I mean, I think we are at 60 and change percent if you include our energy and our financial services intervention. You X that and you're around 58, 59%, okay? But I think the challenge really, when you look at the Asian countries, etc., it's not that you shouldn't borrow. How do you then move into an export-driven economy such that our net international reserves coverage is not 4 months, but it's 2 years or it's 3 years, so that the vexing issue of currency depreciation does not occur. But I think you've got it. So the confidence in exiting the fund, what we have done with the macro statistics to be where we are, is all leading to...
Do I hear you say that despite the warnings by the IMF and the World Bank about our debt distress being high, we shouldn't be worried?
Potential debt distress.
So there's no cause for worry?
No, I think...
because I think we are doing how much now? Is it 208 billion?
Yeah. I think your issue is not that you should not borrow. You should borrow with care, you know. And if you look at our trade surplus, for example, you know, you've moved from a negative to somewhere around $2 billion net. You know, those are what then will indicate your capacity to support that. So your challenge is to get appropriately priced funds at the right time to be able to do your transformation exercise, which will then generate the resources. I mean, when you talk about quantitative easing and all of those things that other countries do, it's because they need to inject certain resources into the economy with the expectation that would enhance productivity.
Former finance minister.
Of course.
Ken Ofori Atta.
Sure.
When your brother or your finance minister.
Okay.
That time no na NPP and a wabaimu. No Akuffo Addo and a president.
Yeah.
Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia and a vice president.
Okay.
And a Ken Ofori Atta could din komoi.
Okay.
But then Mitia San Komoi no bibisa mo say eti Ken Ofori Atta kan sansemi nyina. And na no man ye to hwe no.
Director, ni nua na edi mampani.
Adena your military rule na.
Da bi o, ni nua na edi mampani wo bibika. Ono ani MPC a omo the same political party. Yes, omo mpene mane ntwa so bi mu. Ekosi hin. Ankosi aga because eye ni nua na tia akonya.
Se enye hwesi ye kwa akobo bosia.
Director, o kind emphatically say besia body de ye nyai bo. But the obey ni say obey careful with ni borrowing na oye no. Obey ni in a careful way but upe obabo. E dey say obia sebi wanya moto akwanhia na ka kire wo say entwi moto be so moto ni de muntimi nka say menya twimatwi na mu me kwa na hwe me hu ye.
That time no ye bobosia na bosia ne be fa Ken Ofori Atta bank.
Of course.
Ah ne friend data bank. Etina Ken Ofori Atta nya interest bebre e wo ho.
Erata unim ade ba ko a ama Ken Ofori Atta na besia abonwa na ju say onyai eye data bank nkoma wo ne yedi. Erata sa wo hwe ya Mr. Ken Ofori Atta na waye arrangement ya ye je besia ono ne bank no ene be process besia no omna na omo ye intermediaries say ye kwaje besia ne bank no ye ntemnyinafo a omo gina ntem amya je besia no nti eba transactions no ehwo ne befa the transactions ne fa pa reta besia no etimi bedru omo ho na sika na delay for some months sika na delay no reta who knows ebimpo a omo disika na ye investment na after 1 2 3 months no matter omo interest no omo disika na maye eno na nchen charges ene sika wo se ye tua edema wo mo no sika nyina be ko ne bank ni nti every year ye jebesia
o sa video no I na join you for euro bond 3 billion bi wo so
of course
sa euro bond na John Dramani Mahama na nsia no
ye tua ye
kwatua ka no enti ebosia bebrebe Akuffo Addo ne na ban led by Ken Ofori Atta wo boto ho no eno na John Dramani Mahama ebra wo tua
o tua ne kakran but so wa Ken Ofori Atta inadwim no na wa plan kwan obafa so obeye yie enti oman ne de na emfa ne ho ntwatwa but sika tax agigi free baabi no na wa kwaje bese no the tax na sia wowa nti say e-levy say omudi e-levy ba no omo kwaje bese adi e-levy ko sia wowa say momma ya bese but ya the tax bia ba ya friend electronic transaction levy e-levy enti bosia na ya je no e-levy ni sika na edi betua eno na ye initiative e kire say ye betima atua bosia broni ni nso te ho open interest sawa be ka kire say ye ma bosia na o the tax at home man for no so o je sa tax na betua broni ni nso de betua e business no ye o de bosia na be ma ye na ye gigi Ghana for sika no na ye tua na Ken Ofori Atta sika gunu botom na ote ho
na we nyina chi na Ken Ofori Atta na no don Akuffo Addo afra ban mu na ye chi Ken Ofori Atta obi ti ba bia o se ai de ndisi aban eye no ai wo chanting ana no mu tata Ken Ofori Atta sa
nti eya na omo kasa no eya na omo humpe me nwanwa because there is a former financial expert our Nigeria na owa ban mu a ye chi Ken Ofori Atta yi director onu so complain say na Ken Ofori Atta na damfo e fiti so obey finance minister wan friend no amana mfa biem because obey finance minister enei onu so nya ba bia gina yie omo nyina wo support waja o betimi di abo kakra but papa ni nipa boni semunti oni obi anya fine enne bi waduru bi a waduru enti wo ye Ghana ni na ekom dew ehian ana ohoto na wo say Ken Ofori Atta wadi boni adan ye chesina we ni paboni ni
where say I the asi nyina achi na ye Ken Ofori Atta na wo say enye fair say na me de betu akakwa
ade a me hu say eye fair pan say NPP for no mo US no oman kwa kwatena fom e wo US ho say free Ken Ofori Atta no na me hu say eye fair
na wo hu ai Ghana for US anyansa for nko aho
mo enu ntina me say eye fair no
me hu ni say enye Ken Ofori Atta busuafo a apart from Ken Ofori Atta busuafo a omo US Ghana ni hu Ken Ofori Atta say kima me so be yi na ma
mo but the ntia me kan say NPP for no more Ghana ha no ye chi obi a no ma kwatra form ntina me dwene se ye chicken Ofori Atta yi ade na Ghana for no me MP for US no omo kwatra form not know we say they are matured Ghanaians omo ni munyansa omo dwumu do omo nso so kro no boss because omo nkasa no omo azo obi man so the right Ken Ofori Atta ne bonia oyeye no he's paying for it.
Na commander yenyina so na this video emra
okay
mampani John Dramani Mahama we no kamia ko se oya ye prophet
okay
and so we to dwa na bi say any na John Dramani Mahama oya prophet ana
okay
because odika se ho kom to us de Ken Ofori Atta ye criminal
of course
But apart from that, this Minister of Finance was doing something that I would say is criminal, because he presents the budget statement, and then there are liabilities he knows are public liabilities, and yet he doesn't factor them into the budget. So the banking sector clean out. You say it cost you 22 billion. So it meant that government had to pay depositors 22 billion. Whose liability is it? He says no, there are receivers who are chasing people who owe the banks, and so we'll use that money to pay the depositors. But, I mean, how much have the receivers been able to collect? I don't think they've collected even more than 1 billion CDs. And yet government has guaranteed all deposits, and so have put the deposits of those people's accounts into CBG and has paid them. And so it is a government liability. ESLA, we introduced ESLA. It started in October, and then they took it over in January. The inflows that ESLA was supposed to receive to pay off legacy energy sector debt and petroleum sector debt, they created an SPV, a special purpose vehicle, like a company. And then they made the company borrow money against the ESLA revenues. So now a lot of the ESLA revenues are collateralized, they're encumbered, because they've taken that money and they've spent it. And so that also is a liability. Who owns ESLA SPV? Government of Ghana. Then energy sector debt to IPPs. Today, I hear they owe them almost 1.8 billion. But at that time, they owed them over 1 billion. So all these debts, including Get Fund, the collateralized Get Fund for about $1.5 billion, all these debts he puts as appendixes in the budget, but does not factor them into his accounting numbers. And so when he tells you he has a budget deficit of less than 5%, he's actually deceiving you. And he was doing that to create a better picture so that he could borrow more money off the market. Out of the issues of conflict of interest, his own bank being the broker and all that, I mean, those are all ethical issues that are clear to anybody.
Yeah. Excellency John Dramani Mahama.
Yeah.
We a old video.
Okay.
And maybe a chem.
Okay.
And a John Dramani Mahama a dinko. At that time, no. Na mampeni e opposition. Enti e kamia kwese o mine obi amfa serious.
Yeah.
That time no 2016. Na amanfo politu Ghana fo adwen. Say John Dramani Mahama onima mamuo. O ni paboni ni eti mampeni di san komo we no. Na se Ghana ni bia trim sa mampani mpo mani ye.
Oh, yeah, propaganda.
Dia betwa what ase. But na no kwa no woka.
Director winim. Video ya hwe evidence prove say mampani John Dramani Mahama onim say ye manage economy and manage oman e manage ye because from that instance no mampani nya economist but ohwe Ken Ofori Atta niam na oye oje besia na ode ESLA levy no ekoye insiechi ba oje besia na ode Get Fund ekoye insiechi ba na sika na fund the bank mampani ohun say conflict of interest aside the uye ebe collapse economy because excessive borrowing at the omine eto form the better obi oya economist bia be hu se de Ken Ofori Atta ye no e bobo omine no e kada ho the better one my boka e was ye kwotua sika no we budget allocation no one sika bia nkohyema e bi kwa kwotua ye be ye den ene etua kam
de hia no Ken Ofori Atta nyo mo de hia nko a
mo entiman pani John Dramani Mahama as at that time he knew say ade we na ye ya omine no e be senke enti wo hwe ya as at that time na do ene ni nua Ken Ofori Atta e show mu tirim say oh say bosia ne de ko mu de be maye ye nye bosia na yemfamra enti ye je bosia no na ye di bi ye adwa kakra na de aka no ye so de hwe hafa but mampani as at that time na onim say de chichiri oman na ye oman ti he started complaining but Ghana for the better mampene some okaye no kre some of Ghanaians e short memory the better any short memory mpo na ye knowledge about economy any oman chichire no e wo fom nti oka nipa we bradwo be o say oh say ye to abete no kotena nche ekom de no he wants to come back to power enti no wakika sa but enya sa ne te
that means Sir John Dramani Mahama e kan sansem we nyina opposition
okay
sir omu bejai obia kwa na nye Ken Ofori Atta mi unu se kwa bia so NDC aban e be jeli Ken Ofori Atta
Rata unim Ken Ofori Atta issue se utie attorney general common ye pa the last time ye program ya ye boy ya Rata attorney general chema enye issues na eda OSP office no de court no enye no mponi issues a ehia wo there are other major cases ya on investigators na ye ho adwuma se obiem to abonten a amanfo ye mbehye wo mu enti hwese mampani opposition no na oni access to government documents a obetimi aye investigation ehu niema we nyina but from baby wote no ohun se papa na hyase engage in criminal act enti say ya nya bibia fa ho a ebe ha adwen satan go opposition dia na obetima ya fa ho enko baabia enne ya wabapa we with all evidence here aban no gadai the better Ken Ofori Atta no kwani nya mianim ni se obia na mumpo a Ken Ofori Atta de se odifo nko ade odam nti kwan ye befa so a ye betwe papa na bagana no o se twene ba
na commander Ken Ofori Atta lawyers na di nkomo bi na enkomo na no hyedodo me nko amintie na onim se Ken Ofori Atta sika owi ai ni nyina no o am se wa chembi ena odi bia lawyers e wo Ghana ena odi bia lawyers e wo US nti we tuja na we tuja but ekwan bia so ye beti Ken Ofori Atta baru di enche sama Ken Ofori Atta lawyers e ya tuja
Ken Ofori Atta, as they picked up by eyes, we all know he's in custody. What every diligent lawyer would do is to assure himself or herself of the processes attendant on the custody. The lawyers in America have filed the process in court, if Amaliba doesn't know. A process has been filed in court to challenge his custody in ICE detention. All right? That process would be heard later this month. What does he expect the lawyers in America to be saying? That is why we are here as his lawyers, because we have a collaboration and a teamwork with American lawyers. The position now is that the lawyers in America have filed the process in court to challenge what ICE have done, and that process will be dealt with very, very soon. So that is the latest on the matter. And if he doesn't have enough information, he should just keep quiet and listen to what's going on.
Ono Ken Ofori Atta, we are Oman Ghana, and do Oman Bonino. I heard some of the lawyers edit to that. Almost said challenge it.
But of course,
some
Coco Brew, way Obia Coquaso, Royas Rankas, Omuco because Ken Ofori Atta Philly say, and nay, Medibone, baby, Samna Quacoduno, send me a mistake, made me drew Ghana over. In Texadia, Sikadudu a mania from deals Hamia, the writer, I should lose percentage of it. Na mean fun solve me problems, Miyoki. Oh, the writer, Obia Niwa in a Obaya dia a criminal. Yeah, say what benefit when you see Cabri, Pekacrama yen, na yen save you. I want this country accramo be save you.
I'll say a woman challenge, a woman challenge, and someone I for my channel. Na or much charge Ken Ofori Atta. But then this time, no, Ebe Jumasa, the right winning. US, I no, or the forms are. I omo lawyers ibe timi a defend sa case we.
Right winning. We yan kan tenten. Obia opportunity say we are CBS na won tiasia. You go to court and challenge the issue. The right end up the nyina yenim no. US for nan say if you say na by say ya wo one no kuje to abla kwa ba date ye say ya wo Ghana for bi and West Africa for bia. Ya chi wo mo US ya pese deport wo mo. Na mum dia in the process. Like take it 3 months and say ye deport wo mo ba. Enti menye sure say ye chi wo na no na ye deport wo da na de wako. Enti we agree with them. So wo mo challenge in court wa ye any problem. Ye enti US wo bi. The right they should challenge it. Na o mo challenge it to the highest level. Na mum o mo ntie say o mo challenge wie na amaka na Ken Ofori Atta bedru Ghana obi antna hanka ntra yen say the right political memfa say ade na ye say e politics
and that's a political witch hunting but then I Ken Ofori Atta oh you sure say ya tinui e likely so baba be pie mo man Ghana
the better per express enkoma omudi yenso ye follow up na ye tietie mu ye pa no the better they believe say the possibility say omudi Ken Ofori Atta baba Ghana no e 80 to 90% say Ken Ofori Atta baba Ghana
okay
the better baby Ken Ofori Atta
yes oh UK visa
the better ade
say Canada
baby o say US for no so obetima ko UK na Canada ade say US for no ka say Ken Ofori Atta udibem enti officer na ye revoke ye no ya say eja wade ama na omai wem ansan wetima free ho akọ UK ana Canada but say ankoye sa omu deport wa e deport ti o mother country baby a o passport na ikita wo no country kura yo mo passport na okuta Ghanaian passport nti say enei ye wie na ye deport na ye deport to Ghana ena the better ansan ye be revoke o visa no na me fa nipa ba ko example lawyer Kwesi Ntachi former JF president or say announce expose number 12 ne ba ye no US for revoking visa other countries in revoking visa assign say ebeto abontin say or ye corrupt ya no the better enti ansan ye be revoke Ken Ofori Atta visa in July 2024 no and I say July 2025 no the better what bisa say e ye enti na revoke ye who say the lawyers nenka say the lawyer na be kan okra from Davis on the shade we say from time Ken Ofori Atta ko we so papa ne yare and a special prosecutor hano or question ho ya de na aba the better at from July eba no on country say assembly to Ken Ofori Atta or revoking
or say attorney general no on hwehwe asem num no kure the attorney general na keka nyina yi mura
the better said the attorney general na kan yi mura Ken Ofori Atta free say oyare ko US no lawyer no e wo hwa na ye ka Ken Ofori Atta asema na wo be defend say oyare okoye surgery say na ade ne ko ne honye nto no agreed aden ye revoking ne visa in July 2025 lawyer na ntimi ama me ka say asem say na si ye revoking Ken Ofori Atta visa enti attorney general ne chance and I say US one anya o madwuma ye enti de court o man court atena ho afia ya tena wie no mo se mo ntase se revoking ne visa
okay
the better e cash out time obi e pepied
na yes ye fra okay we ma min kasa akwa
okay
yes ye papa ye fra papa bi hwan manasi Japa Mesa o se hwan Mesa wati nkomo bi na ne nkomo no Ghana fo nyine di na tem ne die ntia o wudi entimra
observe the kind of public commentary, the kinds of things that people are saying, even people on this platform, essentially making it look as if to say, oh, well, you said in public office and you're supposed to account. Please, let's not do this to ourselves. Because it's important.
What is unfair about that? That you have said in public
office,
you are needed to account. Make yourself available.
Needed to account.
Make yourself available. Wait. Why do you want it to be elevated to charges in court before you show up?
Samson. Needed to account for what? For what? Show me the law that says that when you serve in public office, when you finish, you have to account. No, please, let me make my point. With all seriousness. The Attorney General and the state investigative agencies have accused him of committing a crime. True or false?
True.
I've served in public office. Nobody has accused me of committing any crime. You've accused a man. You say he should come. To do what?
Is it this time and come on and before no dinner no? Almost say any baby as a serve or public officer. Any say be enthroned baby as a accountable.
Right, Omubenya public officer Tanacho.
And yet, so when no more ya Omubet no position at check.
Because when the show I
just almost so much.
Now, my meaning come more secondary for Abaso. Says secondary for Toaba, Etia, Japamesa, Omutu Nifla so. Oh, because you cannot go to parliament, not Ottawa, not who do government office, which has to buy we, or any papa, or any papa.
Okay, I found the Matias ye dientia. Na NPP phone bi ai na do dan Akuffo Addo bless no omo bokro no sa no because na omo nim say omo fra ban mu a omo me account for bi
because o say enye by force
but omo nim say John Dramani Mahama the second time no
wabani se jata director omu by force mampani wabani se jata te se de wokan enti enei se wunya opportunity na ye ma appointment nkwadia fa se wutirim se wunya special person enti ne ma appointment uye nipa adwuma na ye ma ye twa woka enti we have every right to say ye be ka kire se adwuma na ye de ma wo no bebu kwa konta kire ye bra na ye misa questions o pa adwuma no Yadoko Parliamentary Select Committee. And a committee to 2 say ministerial appointment here Dimowi. Ubetima ye Jumano. And no the man can't say and nearby force to say man penimum appointment Parliament and to Tumano. I don't know one casasem. Time I yama Ken Ofori Atta, Minister of Finance or Koya Parliament to Tunano. I don't know one country say Ken Ofori Atta doesn't owe anybody obligation say obekosi yen kwato tunano na yen passe no but ya passe wadwie ye de adwuma ma ye twa uya no abeka che say you don't owe anybody a responsibility say obey accountable to Ghanaians a Japan mesa oye kromfo ai ada sika no Ken Ofori Atta wi aye no ye NPP fo ni bi omudi bi ana Director, who be DBO? Director, only maybe a problem. Be any name, man. Director, only maybe a problem. No, baby, but aside Ken Ofori Atta, no, every man can say you want to tell you, because you want Crawford, other sectors here, or many Ken Ofori Atta near you, but almost sector now, almost what benefit a disika into a nay, ye come off, no, they come at Dampine. Director say a chicken Ofori Atta, now you didn't say you could to man, Ken Ofori Atta film, why be him? Next time it will be for in the Satia, yen come because prior bakwa ebu, but okaboma emu into woman kabum to oppose the government. Any Ghana for say, and you're right to say, Obi Servuia, Chenchina, Omra, and MPP from a deal on make some way. Mamusa MPP for being so case. Ken Ofori Atta or good party in any mass. Ken Ofori Atta be keep party in opposition for a very long time. Dear a Japan mess, it is sending a clear picture. Ghana for say Otu Abadima MPP as a political party no mobile power. They will not be accountable to Ghanaians. Yeah.
And on the now, yes, your friend, mammy, be one nabula.
Yeah.
What did come up?
Okay.
I said Ghana for the year, and John Dramani, Mahama, and not buying Ghana for you now.
Yeah.
Woman, you're fair to Ken Ofori Atta.
Okay.
Now, me name the Akosuo. I didn't know so to my Ghana at this time. Ken Ofori Atta Diska. Now, who dishan come we? We ain't telling some number.
This vindictive and cruel way of dealing with issues is not the best.
You feel we're not being fair to Ken?
Not fair at all. This is not democracy. It is like we are in a military.
What have we done? What has the country done? What has the country done?
Ken Ofori Atta said,
what have we done as a country that is not fair?
He gave us opportunity for a Zoom. He said, I can do the interview on Zoom because I'm not feeling well. We said no, we don't want it.
Yes.
So Ken Ofori Atta, has he committed any crime in this country?
Okay, let me ask you this question.
No, it is an allegation. Has he committed any crime?
Can I ask you this question? So if Zoom is okay for Ken Ofori Atta to be in the US and do Zoom with the OSP, why wouldn't he come down, meet the OSP? Hold on. Why wouldn't he come down, meet the OSP, and if he has to talk to his doctors in the US, he can do a Zoom conferencing.
You know something? He is not talking to them. He's getting treatment. The treatment.
By his lawyer.
Have you heard that he has done Zoom treatment before?
The lawyer just told us he's recovering, not from the hospital.
But when they say recovering, you don't understand.
There's virtual.
Let me tell you about recovery. Let me tell you about recovering process. When you are recovering, the doctor can tell you that every 3 days come to the hospital.
But in this case, was that why he was picked up?
The lawyer is saying that he doesn't owe us here obligation to give that
information. Then if you're not ready to disclose it.
Yeah, I said this is not fair.
Okay.
As you say, you're a military rule.
Director, in the first place, Mate Electoral Commission for accidentia presidential election or disqualifying. Director, or psychological issue. Or mentally unsound world.
So I say, and you fail.
Director, fair energy. Ken Ofori Atta in 2025, early 2025, around January. And I always be sure say, oh, Yanina didn't come on. Ken Ofori Atta say, oh, Yare, or Koya surgery US accepted. Obetima via Zoom to say the Janet Nabla Eken. Okay, every side time ni besi enei ya Zoom no Ken Ofori Atta wo wana ya de na kana to them order form adena homa Director e toda ma yen so de kromfo obi a obe try say o protect kromphobia or your kromfo se wo to kraman to fie na kromfo ba fie ho na kraman na mpona kraman no so your kromfo oni kromfo ni adwuma bom enti enei every single politician now be who say or defended this act from Ken Ofori Atta no or your suspect say on your opportunity obobo krono na enye so your opportunity keke obi te say Kofi Akpalo na oni aban mu but when you kwan abo aban krono enti who knows ebia Janet na blind said the bia o twantro na o defend the criminals no ebia ono so benefit from baby enti she's protecting them said the masemo ma na ebi ma meka no we cannot continue to entertain enkrofo bi say ususu say Ken Ofori Atta obetima defend na buano na omra na defend no because obi wi sika na won kan kire say yemfra no Zoom video call na yentoto na no na yenini ni nkomo ubisa ni bibia
na adenti no no so ma so mo kro no nya wi a adenti na so ma Ken Ofori Atta
very simple I take 1 year once wo hwe ho yade ya jetum ibata mi ko hu say doctor ni kra ka say prostate cancer say de na omoka na prostate cancer say you surgery na ochina ye be use kufie nti check number of months Ken Ofori Atta ko di US otimi tu kwan ever plane ko Jamaica because the visa na onya aye no multiple entries into what na US for na 6 months dura e wo say okko nti na wa schedule for plane ko Jamaica na wa sa return back to US Jamaica don't even for plane ko na wa sa return aba bibia nyew but Bragana na ye misa 1 or 2 questions bi ye ntini ma bi ase no wo si wuntimi ma you are here defending Zanipa no who are best side in the better say nyansa e bi na utrim and Janet na blade me enye ne e na me dwene sa ma sha say adwendada over 1 year ni say our mental issue
abayi fna say na emo ne tew na afi no ye nsore so Ken Ofori Atta nsewi mi nimbi abigi be kan fa ho abigi na mokode
tina ma nyame ado me ho den papa
ahora quick one you wan sem nim Ken Ofori Atta won sem akofo nsem bebre aba na emre bi atwam obeje di says excellent John Dramani Mahama e ka se Ken Ofori Atta aye criminal obeje di
tina ma me ncha hwef beje di me yankasa no na me ya we say Ken Ofori Atta we kromfo me na me ya we because ya be Mahama nsama odi nka kan no sidama eso yo sofu
okasem
eno ka asase na Ghana fo nam se no
mama kan ya nyina ni o
say ya nyina ndi say because not nchen anti na ani a odo hunu na mu odu anti ani na Mahama ya di hu se Ken Ofori Atta oye kromfo te say atayi no ni ya ndi ani obi aba te Mahama se e de say me mati Mahama say 100% say niema all kind nyina no ane abamu life because Ken Ofori Atta ya ka kromfo ya ka atayi pa wo Ghana pa Ken Ofori Atta
na obeje se Ken Ofori Atta so di tudwa se o se kwa akobo bosia na nse hwe bosia bode ense hwe ni nyina so no de bo man ne kro no
sinama e mane nya nwa ma me busa me nka we nkyira Ken Ofori Atta se na adwuma na wo bie no na obi akode busia aba se wadwuma yi ode baye wadwuma Ken Ofori Atta na wadwuma no wanti man fa nya hwe na sa nipa no wadwane Ken Ofori Atta ode ba che no
dabi
enti Ken Ofori Atta wo se ye didada wo se ye din to prison o ye kromfo ni dirimo sum Ken Ofori Atta ni dirimo sum obi a o man ye de o man ni na sha wonsa wo se ko bobo sia enya hwe mo jere ye de baye adwuma wa kwa bo abari wa num na wadwane ko tena birikyire
Akuffo Addo wo fast no
ne wo fast anya wonwa omunyina wo omunyina aye pepepe Akuffo Addo suba ne bi e de stini mu ne wo fast ntinya won Ken Ofori Atta da NPP fo NPC na solid ya papa ne say Ken Ofori Atta sifom o se dabi minya nwie Ghana nwie de min sifom na na du kwa ntia se so obesi
wana kansa
Ken Ofori Atta so on sifom na
o se onyanya dey
onyanya Ghana no on sifom the whole episode atawa chiama wabu oman no omo se dabi wonya de wabon sifom wo se dabi wonya nwie oman ne japade no nti wonya sifom ane ya ka tayi anya tayi na ya china tumno atayi pa ya Ken Ofori Atta hwemro no kwa omo ze o ye kromfo pa hwe ena omo kwa amode
ne lawyers ne se omo be defend
na ya America sasamo Ghana we are singing na ya na embo obi akọ wi amoba fon na ejelo de 10 years obi awie Ghana japade na sa nipa we yetimi man lawyers na lawyers no so bam abontina be kan nsɛnkunu kyerɛ wiase nyina lawyer fo na asɛm ayesika na we kɔfɔ me mabɔ mo dua wɔ mitrim sanko lawyers we munim sa ade na mo yɛ emua mo kro no na mo ma nipa na wafa lawyers no wa lawyer ni unim sɛ wa bokro no wa wiasika no wa mo sika ne bi na wa batena abontina ayɛ nyaadum san nunti woki kan ba brum ba be say emre Yesu baba sa lawyer fo nyina bebu aten ewo ho mudwuma de enti lawyer fo mutin modern nka wiase na nka ye chekromfo anka ye nja lawyers ni nja priest fo na nchi nipa no ni ambo no tuo nko ni ahu se nipa na wafiri ho
ndu Ken Ofori Atta nyande
ye kunu
abigi
ye shiki
ande me so nkasa
oh adentida tie nipa boni ni bia wase ya china yakunu no friend enti Ken Ofori Atta nka ba bia sina ma yan kan ko pa ba bia papa iduri ka we ye kasa woni panima due se panima we the second Ofori Atta wo bushama me ma abushia fo due because onjinu mlantia ne maba wa omwo abushia no enti ono nkwa ni yeji enti mo hede Ken Ofori Atta di Ghana faso we magana asenke anye president Mahama yehunya no ene ne mpanifo mo ye nyansafo nka sambele ba bia ka Ghana anda no ka yentimi mfa Ghana nya bibia ma ne yi
badan ambifo no so ai hwan mesa o se eni ba bia se ufra ban mu a o ba bu nkonta
yawo asem bi wo ha yes babu kura ka o se nkofo bi o mo ye nkwasiafo kwa se nkofo bi o mo ye jimifo o ma mu kasa asemi nyansenda mutirim yedi mina mitema bi adwuma me de adwuma na hye wonsa wafiri adwuma nim braba ye nkotama wonim so onya onwie sika wonfa mi sika na me fra na adode na cheto wo ye kromfo enti wo ma mo prince ai ma ye mbabu akonta
o se na che wan le
o mo ya kromfo
wa mo
o ma nipa na MPP fo na o mo kasa asam o ma wiya Ghana sika ne enti misra ni si abanse o mo nya hwehwemu ye no mo nchi sa nkofo ne adwuma ye o mo di wo ma sinama mi ametosi na ma hodi adwuma hyemsa tie hodi adwuma hyemsa na adwuma na mi se o majai masifom na so okay abigi je babu nkwanta amame na ma hodi adwuma na sinama mi mfa wo sidia emla o kai wo se me di mnika na ma babu nkwanta ma ebi ko abosa abo ma ba so se mayade na mo sinama mo hodi ma wiawo abem din se mbeba ofi wo ba fra mi amemma because mo hodi me di sikan anti MPP fo no o ma wiya Ghana fo sika nti o munim se ye kasa bla babu nkonta manipa na ya ba hwehwe ma na wa wiya sika aban ne ba kino anonti na o musuro anya bibia ai wo mra mu se MP wo batena konya so ye ntua kana awo Ghana mra to se wo ba ye ga adwuma wo ba so mo ma ye ntua ka se animu dia ene ewo mu dia ne nyina o mu se ye adwuma dia hye wonsa babu nkonta enti we eye kro no mabo omo ya kromfo omo amka nyina omo ye thief omo ya kromfo omo ya widifo because onya widi na on timi ntran se nnuko se ye dabi na Ken Ofori Atta kwa endisifo ajano omo jano o sami ko mo twini kan na nko mo de hanko pagunu sa na omo de hye prison na endisifo esem we se mu jai Ken Ofori Atta ajai tamo tumi ajai MPP fo na omo bokro no na 2028 duru mi ametemi sina me papa nan mi amatole ye campaign amupa munye Ghana yie enye deme me campaign asole me sole ye campaign atiam because the entire ye to abama mo se Mahama ka se akromfo no oba obache o ye nim Ken Ofori Atta oye kromfo tamo tumi ya kromfo bo nya oya kromfo because
my about me
no be only $3 million a man here so from come chamantim net $3 million the same thing ya de akobo busia adi on minor shan kwaso na sound my way ayede and the sign boy was here hwem say but we aduma bay and aye ya onya $3 million adi akobo chamantim say on fanko ade was we mi nya sa any sabai me say 2028 nya me turn a drop up am nya wi Ghana nyina say dead sa sem we man chi sa nkofo we ntuma me Mia kasa meswalde bia me batla me kama sama wa hwe mu raba ho enti munche omuntum Ken Ofori Atta onye obi am eye hunahuna opese odi patapa ana lawyers for omuni mlase uwia Ghana sika wo se ye bedje Yes, I do what you won't babagan. Now, Miss Lay, US man penny. US man penny, Miss Slawadama, please. Give me Ken Ofori to Ghana. Serve of the thief. Ken Ofori is thief. Ghana need Ken Ofori. You serve your court. Please, give me Ken Ofori to Ghana. Miss Slamunga tell US man penny say yes, no. Miss over Ken Ofori and Maya.
And now can say
yes. Over Maya,
and I can't professor.
Please, US man penny, please. Give for Ken Ofori to Ghana. This man is thief. Thief. Give me. I need your court. You listen me to answer one by one. Economy is poor. Ken Ofori is thief. Please. I need Ken Ofori. Give me Ghana is need. Yes, some unganchla man tebro fa me kaye. Munganchla US man penny say me and I make us asem ono open okre. Ochin kwasi asam. Man penny open oksa US man penny open kwasi asam. Enti munganchla ne. Munfa man say yes no a. Ken Ofori ye hian wo my way hu. Onye US man anipa. Onye Ghana ni and wo wiye no wadwana kwatana. Ye hian ani manima ye say. Ya badina court. Ni abuta na numasan ni name krono wa bo man no. Ano na ehia. Yan na se ama obrim fa ya sika ndwana wo dwana kwatana US. Timunganchla man penny. Say yes, and I tell Roma on family. Near finding cockord and yes, sir. Dear Bessinu. About a guy in about the joke about rainy cat near Namia Bondia or say, yet you call Jacob and about both Sikata Wavia. Ken Ofori Atta. About Bondia. Ever would I nick near Nam Damaja?
I will say,
Miss about Bonitia. Ken Ofori Atta. No Raya Honica near Bundio. Say, we work out be mine. When you yet see you, there's some was a summer of my so. I don't know what you grown penny forward by the money not to this guy. No one very yet. And none of Mahama Nanado Aye will really none of that on farm. And none of my head near Mahama and Yamiadum and all the Sabla who are mobile. Kababy a gun and Kayatan, Cassandra, more one cab your 100 cities. Can more one cab your 100 cities. Ghana probably say and the Banya more one cap 100 cities out. When they are pro by the NPP for a brother. Wait, yes, I say. Now you start to say I can pay say the Bonya by NPP leader. Fucking I have the Bonya by NPP leader say. Nipana notice number one cap I got 30 cities. Now I more one cap sugar now 20 cities. Now as a young boy said, oh yeah, economy master what bottom. Economy master, my economy process. Hey, we are Pasiafwana, Mundani. Mundino man ye, Munda Gana Mabuni, no Munja Moyano. Diamoyan, we am Guamo. Wait, I'm mistake. I'm people for Diagro. No Mudibo Nabao, economy versatile passa. On to me. Meeting Sandy said, Oko baby, economists are the same thing a chronic prayer. At the Titan Ghana for Asaba Zimbabwe. I just Zimbabwe. There's a sign of Koyan or Sajanaba. I have to watch me into Muntra, Munshian says,
Ken Ofori Atta Comuni, Nabomia de Butu.
Omina economy for now. Omina near the same at Adiana and the show. Omina said the same thing. Near this social. Messay NPP, the man a dry about Pomeron. And never ever come from one year. NPP positions are about 45 years. Whenever Pamundiagro. Ghana Mabush, a secret or be able to have, we say, a cigar or one to Mudina Baba. Ken Ofori Atta, go woman in was. If you are your party. Peggy, when you saw you for bra. Planning and Busayan, and Muda, Busa, no default. One, Sika will be young. A song, and to about when we say what you mean to alternate that prediction. Turn a bush for you know, 8 minutes Ganaka. And nothing would Johnny. So you penma or to send me umbra. Near Yano, just 3 days near the National Court. Near Wester, who did for another lawyers for Macam Munquasa some today. Sinama.
Abusha, it must see a core ever sub beam. Ya Cramina.